Howdy boys. Today we got an awesome tutorial. This one is on a move called the Kiss Goodbye. Here it is. That's the move, and here is a slow-mo. All right, so I know what some of you guys are thinking, man, this move's retarded, like what the heck's going on? This is crazy. What's this guy teaching us? The thing with this move, I'm going to divide it into 5 different parts, and part 1 is actually pretty easy, and it gets kind of harder as it goes along, and so even if you suck, you should probably try this move, and you might learn some stuff, and you're probably going to get stuck at some point. You can just leave and come back later, and when you learn some more stuff. So anyways, I'm going to have a link in probably the description or the comments or whatever to the different parts. And so if you already know a part, you can just skip ahead to whatever the part you want to do is. So part 1 looks like this. Part 2 looks like that. Part 3 looks like that. Part 4 looks like that. And part 5 looks like that. So, to start off with part 1, what you're going to do is you're going to get the knife in this just normal position. You're going to grab the safe handle with your 4 fingers here and your thumb on the back. And what you're going to do is you're going to begin. It's important that your arm is in a sort of a high-ish position. So you see the angle of my elbow here, right? I'm not down here, I'm not down here. I am up here like this. What you're going to do is you're going to start off by removing your index finger. So I've got the knife in my 4 fingers, elbows kind of up like this. I remove my index finger. And then I'm going to take the bite handle and I'm going to fling it over the back of my last 3 fingers. So once again, right, hand up, 4 fingers, remove the index, fling the knife over my last 3 fingers. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my index finger, which I removed, and I'm going to place it in front of the safe handle, just like that. After I do that, I am going to flip the knife over my index finger. So once again, right, 4 fingers on the knife. I'm going to remove my index, fling the knife over my last 3 fingers, insert my index finger, and fling the knife over my index finger. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to snake it behind the safe handle. So you see it starts off, it's just on this side of the safe handle. I remove it and I'm going to place it on the back of the safe handle, just like that. And from this position here, you're kind of loaded up right between your index and your thumb to do a twist, to turn the knife down. And so that's what you're going to do. So once again, right, you got the knife in this normal position here, high up. You're going to remove your index, fling the knife over your last 3 fingers, insert your index, fling the knife over your index. You're going to remove your thumb. You're going to insert your thumb behind the safe handle, and you're going to use this load here to twist like that. From this point, once you've twisted down, what you're going to do is you're going to take your middle finger and you're going to place it on the safe handle, just like that. And then you're going to take your index finger, so after putting your middle finger on the safe handle, you're going to take your index finger, you're going to remove it, and you're going to place it on in front of the safe handle, just like that. So once again, right, 4 fingers, index out of the way, over your last 3 fingers, index in, back. You're going to remove your thumb, place it behind, turn the knife upside down. You're going to place your middle finger on the safe handle. Then you're going to remove your index and place it in front of the safe handle. And from this point here, what you're going to do, you're going to remove your thumb and twist the knife forward. So that's the whole move. And so when you get it right, what it should look like is like this. And one thing to note, remember I said you start high, right? You start high in this high up position. When you finish, you're going to end in a low position. So you see the position of my elbow. So you can go whatever, as low as you want. It doesn't have to be like crazy low or anything, you know what I mean? It's just you start high and you finish low with this move. And that's important. Okay, so on to part 2. So part 2, a little bit harder than part 1. Let's go. So you're going to start off right where you ended off in part 1, of course. And so you're in this position here with your index in between the handles and your middle finger resting on the safe handle, just like that. You're going to note that you're going to be starting lower down, right? So the first part went low, and this part's going to end up going from low to high. But the point is you're going to start low, just like this. Now, from this position here, what you're going to do is you're going to have your bottom 2 fingers out of the way, right? Your thumb is out of the way. And you're going to use your middle finger to push and twist to turn the knife upside down, just like that. So from this position here, you use your middle finger, you twist the knife upside down, just like that. At the same time as you're doing that, what you're going to do is you're going to start moving your hand from this low position here to a higher position. So right about like maybe to a middle kind of position, right? So you do this twist, and at the same time you're going to move from high to low. So I'll show you what that looks like, right? So you kind of look like that, sort of. Now, you'll note that what happens, right, is that that movement generates a little bit of momentum, and the twist causes the knife to hit your middle finger, just like that. And now, just at the point when it hits, what you're going to do is you're going to remove your index finger, and you're going to stick out your ring finger. So my ring finger here. And so, knife turns upside down. I remove my index finger. The knife goes into a little bit of a chaplain, and I'm going to extend my ring finger, and the knife is going to wind up in this position here. And so it's kind of like a quarter chaplain or something, basically what it looks like. And so if you do it right, sorry, let me just start the move like from the beginning so I can get into the right position. So from here, that's what it's going to look like. And so from this position here, right, you do this twist, you move your hand up, you remove your index, and you insert your ring finger, and you wind up here. And so the end result, right, is you start in this position here, low, and you go high, and you wind up right here, just like this. So it's kind of like a twirl. So if you know the full twirl, that'll help with this move, like that. So that is part number 2. So part number 3 is going to start in this position right here. And so notice I just went in part 2 from low to high. So I'm in this high position here with my high elbow or my forearm or whatever. And what I'm going to have is I'm going to have my middle finger in the middle, my ring finger on top of the safe handle, just like this, with my index and my pinky and my thumb. They're out, kind of doing whatever that thing is. I'm doing that thing. And so starting in this high position, what you're going to do is you're going to use your ring finger here to push downwards and fling the bite handle out over your ring finger, just like that. At the same time that this fling happens, what you're going to do is you're going to start moving your hand from this high position to this low position. And so just as it hits, you can remove your middle finger, and you're going to go into basically what is a chaplain, right? Index chaplain. So you start in this position here, you fling the knife out, you release your middle finger, and the knife is going to start to spin if you do it right. And right away, right after you start the spin, you're going to take your pinky and you're going to insert it. And that's going to allow you to catch in this position here. And so when you do it right, if you start high, you do this move, and you wind up low, the spin will just kind of happen pretty naturally, and you'll catch it right on your pinky, just like that. And so the thing with this move, right, it just takes a little bit of practice. One thing I would recommend, right, is the index roll. It's vaguely similar to an index. Oh man. It's vaguely similar to an index roll, except it happens around your ring finger. Maybe even it's a little bit easier than an index roll. So, yeah. So that's what the move looks like. So, part number 4. Part number 4 is probably the hardest part. Maybe 5 is the hardest part. It's close tie. But the point is, part 4 is basically the reverse. Going in the reverse, doing the same thing in part 3 except reverse. And so maybe that sounds easy, maybe that sounds hard, I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. So the point is you're going to start in this position here, right, with your pinky on the safe handle and your middle finger in between the handles, and you're in this low position, right? Remember from the last move we went from high to low, so you're starting low here. And what you're going to do, you're noting how my top 3 fingers are all out of the way. You're going to use your pinky to push and twist and fling the knife upside down into this position here, right? So starting here, I do a twist, and the knife goes to here. And as I do that twist, I'm going to move my hand from this low position. I'm going to start elevating it. And so that elevation is going to make it so the knife is going to spin around a little bit more. So you see I got a little bit more height there, basically, is what happened. And so by doing this motion from low to high, you're going to let the safe handle twist to be in a little bit more of a vertical position. It's going to get vertical enough that you can insert your middle finger, basically. And once your middle finger is inserted, if you transfer the momentum right, this upwards motion will continue and the knife will come up and go over your middle finger here, right? And so you start in this position here, in a low position, you twist, you move up, the safe handle is going to get to right about here, you're going to insert your middle finger, you're going to remove your pinky, and you're going to continue this upwards motion and the knife is going to come up over top of your middle finger. Now, one thing to note is when you do this move right, my index finger, it starts out of the way, but it's going to have to end in this kind of curled up position here. And that's to help with the next move. And so when you do this right, you can see I kind of like, at the end there, you kind of duck your finger underneath. And so you want to get in the habit of doing that, basically. And so this move, once again, right, starts low, do the twist, the knife comes up, insert the middle finger, this index is starting to duck under, and I wind up in this position here, like this. And so the thing is, right, when you start this move, if you do it the way I taught it, it's going to look really, really stilted, right? So you flip the knife upside down, you insert your middle finger, and you come up, right? And that's two different parts. And when you do it right, obviously, when I do it right, it looks like one motion, because this is basically one motion. And so there's two different ways to go about that. So first thing is to just practice it in its two separate parts and get closer and closer together. And what happens is eventually when you get confident enough, the knife is spinning and you're just letting go of the knife completely and it's flying through the air and landing on your middle finger. Another way to go about this that I think is a little bit easier is if you learn a move called the twirl ladder. And so the twirl ladder it's kind of similar to the kiss goodbye, but there's a point in the move when you end up in this position and you do this flip and you do the exact same motion, except instead of the knife being this way like it is in this move, it's this way. The point is, if you learn the twirl ladder, this will be way easier. So if you're having trouble with part 4, go learn the twirl ladder. Anyways, so yeah, you got part 4 down, right? So what do we got so far? That's where we are right now. All right, boys, the final part, part 5, hardest one. So here we go. So this move, what you're going to do is you're starting in this position here. So remember part 4, we went from low to high. You're starting this high position here with the high wrist. And you have your middle finger in the middle, your ring finger on top of the safe handle, your pinky's out, your thumb is out, and your index is kind of curled up here, right? So your index is in this kind of position here. And what you're going to do is you are going to use your ring finger to push on the handle again. This time though, you're not going to go from high to low. You're just going to stay right where you are. You're going to twist with your ring finger to the point of, you can see my middle finger's here, my ring finger's here. So my ring finger is going to try and move underneath my middle finger like that. And once the knife is here in this position, I'm going to take my index finger, right, which is curled up here, and I'm going to insert it underneath the safe handle, right? So you kind of got to do a little bit of a twist to make this happen, a little bit of a contortion. But once you get it under there, you're in this position here, right? And so, once again, right, you're starting off in this position here. You're going to take your ring finger, you're going to place it underneath your middle finger, and you're going to use your index finger to snake underneath the safe handle. And you wind up in this position here. And once you are here, what you're going to do is you can remove your ring finger and you are loaded up to do a twist. And so you got to kind of pinch kind of hard here. It's a weird little finesse kind of thing. But anyway, so the point is, right, you got these two fingers here. You pinch and you do a twist, and you're going to wind up in this position here. And so the thing is, right, basically what ends up happening is it's an index roll, right? But it's kind of a special index roll because instead of, you know what I mean, having everything set up nice, you're grabbing like halfway down the handle, which is kind of hard. And so what's going to end up happening, right, is you do this twist, the knife goes up like this, and then right as it's twisting, right at the right moment, you're going to remove your middle finger. The knife is going to slide up and it's going to land here, and you're going to twist your wrist to catch the bite handle. And so this is basically what this is. It's just a super hard version of the index roll, basically, is what happens. It's not super hard, but it's pretty hard. And so, anyways, let me just start the movie. Let me see. I can't remember even. There. So this is the starting position, right? And what you're going to do, right, you do this, you take your ring finger, place it under your middle finger, you're going to insert your index, you're going to twist, the knife is going to come here, you're going to remove your middle finger, and you're going to twist your hand, and you're going to catch the bite handle. And the end result, let me do it, is something like that. Right? And so it looks basically like an index roll, except there's a much more of a reach and grab for the handle because there's a lot less momentum. So there's a couple ways you can practice index roll. The one thing is, just master your index rolls, basically. You should be able to do, if you can do index rolls 100 times out of 100, like I can, you know, this is going to be much easier for you. The second thing you can do is you can start practicing your index rolls from this position here. And so you're going to grab the knife, right, with your middle finger underneath and your index finger on the top. And you can see I'm grabbed like pretty close to the pivots, right? Basically what you're going to do is you're going to get a swing going and you're going to do an index roll. And so that might be easy, might be hard, whatever, but you can try and do that. And that's basically the same kind of feel. And then what you can do to practice for this move is you can just move your finger farther and farther out, right? So I start really close to the pivots, which is easier. And then as I go, right, maybe now I'm like a little bit farther. And let's see what happens if I go a little bit farther. And the thing is, the farther you go, the more you have to reach underneath. And so eventually, if you get really good, let's see if I can do this. Now, see, the farther you go, right, the harder it gets. And let me see, I want to try and actually do this. Yeah, so there you go. See, the point is I have to do like a real reach and a real kind of contortion that happens. And so you can practice that. So master your index rolls, master your index rolls, and this won't be too bad. So yeah. Ring finger underneath, index in, and you do basically an index roll with a little bit of a twist at the end and a grab. You wind up in this position here, and that's the end of the move. So that's it. Okay, so here we go. The grand finale. You got all 5 parts. I'm going to do the full recap, just go over the whole move. So starting off with the safe handle, you're going to remove your index finger. You're going to fling the bite handle out over your last 3 fingers. You're going to insert your index. You're going to fling the knife over your index. You're going to take your thumb. You're going to put it behind the safe handle. You are going to twist the knife upside down. You're going to insert your middle finger here on the safe handle, and you're going to switch your index finger around to the front of the safe handle. At this point, you're going to remove your thumb. You're going to fling the knife forward. And you're now in a low position here. From this low position, what you're going to do is you're going to twist with your middle finger and index. And at the same time, you are going to remove your index finger and start moving from this low position up to a higher position. And you're going to insert your ring finger to do about a quarter chaplain, basically. From this point here, what you're going to do is you're going to take your ring finger and you're going to twist. And this twist is going to cause this bite handle to fly out, and as you're twisting, you're going to start moving from this higher position down to a lower position. And what's going to happen is the knife is going to do a full rotation around your ring finger, and you're going to catch with your pinky. From this position here, what you're going to do is you're going to twist with your pinky, like so. And as this twist happens, you're going to start moving from low up to a bit of a higher position. You're going to remove your pinky, insert your middle finger, and knife's going to come up, and it's going to go back up over your middle finger again. And from this position here, when that was happening, you should have been curling up your index finger like this. What you're going to do is you're going to take your ring finger, you're going to place it underneath your middle finger, and you're going to snake your index finger into underneath the safe handle like that. And once your index finger is here, you're going to remove your ring finger, and you're going to do a full twist. The knife is going to come up over your index finger, and you're going to turn your hand to catch the bite handle, and you're going to come up in this position here to finish. And so it looks like, right, part 1, part 2, part 3, wait, that was part 4, and part 5. Point is, I was a little bit fast, but you get the gist, right? That's what it looks like, basically. So, hope you guys like that one. Thanks for watching. Peace.